Okay, here's some practice problems that you can look at if you get stuck on section 7.1, which was over 0 and negative exponents. Remember, 3 to the negative 2 would be the same as 3 to the negative 2 over 1. So since the exponent is a negative, we're going to switch that from the numerator to the denominator and change it to a positive. So it will be 3 to the positive 2, and now the 1 is on top because there was nothing left in the numerator except the 1. And you can simplify that further to 1 over 9 because 3 times 3 is 9. In this next problem, the 0 exponent is on this whole thing. Remember, anything to the 0 power except 0 is 1, so the answer to this would be 1. On this problem, we actually have a negative 1 times 4.25 to the 0 power. So the answer to this problem would be a negative 1 instead of a positive 1. And the difference between problems 2 and 3 is the parentheses, and that's what makes the difference in the answer. In this one we have negative 5, the whole thing, to the negative 2, so that would be 1 over a negative 5. Don't forget your parentheses squared, which would be 1 over a negative 5 times a negative 5, which would be 1 over 25. Notice this one has no parentheses, so it's 1 over a negative 5 squared. This time all we're squaring is the 5. So this would be 1 over a negative 25. Make sure you understand the difference that the parentheses make. Our 8 has a positive 1 exponent, so it's going to stay in the numerator. Our 2 has a positive 1 exponent, so it's going to stay in the denominator. Our s has a negative 3 exponent, so we're going to move it up to the numerator and change it to a positive. So you can leave the exponent on this 2, or you could just write 8s to the third divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so that would simplify to 4s to the third. Okay. In this problem, 7 has an exponent of 1, and everything else has an exponent on it. So the exponent on 7 is positive. It'll stay where it is. S to the 0 will become 1, so that essentially goes away. T to the negative 5 will move to the denominator and become positive. 2 to the negative 1 will move to the numerator and become positive. And m squared is a positive exponent, so it will stay in the denominator where it is now. 7 times 2 is 14, so we have 14 divided by t to the 5th m squared. Okay, once again, 12 to the 0 would be 1, so that would be gone. T to the 7th is a positive exponent, so it's going to stay in the numerator. U to the negative 11 will move to the denominator and become positive, and that is our answer. This is 6 to the 1st. It will stay in the numerator. A to the negative 1 will move to the denominator. C to the negative 3 will move to the denominator. And D to the 0, remember, is 1, so that's gone. So our answer is 6 divided by A, C to the third. In this problem, we're going to simplify it, and then it says to evaluate it, and they give us values for R and S. So the first thing, 2 to the negative 4, because it's a negative exponent, we're going to move it to the denominator. R to the third will stay where it is. S to the negative 2 will move to the denominator and become positive. And now we can substitute. So in place of R, we'll put negative 3. Be sure you use the parentheses because R is negative 3, so it has to go in the parentheses. 2 to the 4th times 5 to the 2nd. So we have a negative 3 times a negative 3 times a negative 3 divided by 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Because 2 to the 4th is 2 times itself 4 times. 5 squared is 5 times itself twice. A negative 3 times a negative 3 is a positive 9. A positive 9 times a negative 3 would be a negative 27. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 2 is 50. Times 2 is 100. Times 2 is 200. Times 2 is 400.